Welcome back to the Self Trust Solution Podcast. I'm Dawn Ledet, your host, the Self Trust Coach. And today's episode, I'm joined by Shari Cedar, whose story is a powerful example of what self trust can look like when your life and career take an unexpected turn. Shari began her career in executive television production, a world of structure, status, and high expectation. And eventually she found herself co-owning and leading one of Florida's top commercial cleaning companies. This conversation isn't just about changing industries. It's about listening to yourself when the path you're on no longer fits. It's about trusting your instincts through uncertainty and learning to lead with clarity, values, and resilience as you grow into something new. I really loved this conversation and I hope you will too. Let's get into it. All right. Welcome, Shari. We're excited to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Shari, your career journey has spanned from executive TV production to owning one of Florida's top commercial cleaning companies. For anyone new to your story, can you share a snapshot of how that transition unfolded?
Let's to distill that down to a snapshot is difficult, but I will just say life is a journey, right? And never say never because you really never know where your path is going to take you. And I know a lot of what you talked about is self-trust. And I think that's really the guiding principle here, what dictated my life. The very short story is I had an amazing career in journalism and television production. I mean, some really fantastic opportunities to work, you know, with Real Housewives of Atlanta, National Geographic, Oprah's Favorite Things, like wonderful. My husband, who did not live in Florida at the time, we were both living in New York City and worked in finance, literally one day said, I don't want to work for anyone anymore. I want to do my own thing. I want to start a commercial cleaning company. Now, a little backstory, he grew up in that business, so it wasn't completely foreign. And I mean, we lived on the top of a mountain. We were in Colorado on a shoot, believe it or not, for E. And it was great powder day. I was like, okay, let's do it. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, let's go. There's powder. So like we jumped off the cliff that day, literally and figuratively. Like it was a very transformative moment at that time. Little did I know the series of events that would happen after making that decision. The very short version is we bought a very small company down here in Florida, moved to Florida. I stayed in television because absolutely loved it. It was a dream job, heart and soul. But I think everyone reaches a moment in their life and women have chapters and seasons. And as you raise a family and a marriage, priorities change and we evolve as humans. And I woke up one morning and I said, "Do you want to do this anymore? Like, I just don't." And maybe it was when my son said, Lily, I mean, mommy, and Lily was our nanny's name. Maybe that had a little to do with it. But we joke with that. But in truth, I think when you work so hard and even though you're passionate about it, you wake up and say there's more to life, right?
Why? What was life and leadership like before you made the leap? What did keep you in that TV production?
Oh, well, I probably am an adrenaline junkie. But no, for me, really, it was about look, in TV production and journalism, it's the coolest job in the world in some ways because you get to parachute into a world that you know nothing about. And you get to learn everything about that world. You get to learn about the people, what makes them tick, an entirely new industry, business, economics, social structure. You absorb it all and then you distill it down and you tell a story and you share that with other people so they can have a window into that world. How amazing is that? So for me, the continuous journey of learning, whether it was going to Africa for National Geographic Channel and living with the Rendili tribe or driving a monster truck, like I literally drove big for CBS at one point, or with a search and rescue team in Las Vegas for A&E. Those are incredible experiences.
Yeah,
So
so
that's what people.
what made you finally realize you were ready for something different?
Because when you have children and you're married and suddenly, like, hanging with your babies feels just as joyful to you and you realize the time is fleeting. But also, I think I evolved as a woman, as a mother, a friend, a wife, and just I feel like that cup has been filled. I feel like that journey is good, and the thing was, I did not know at that moment what my next step would be. Mark had said to me, "Why are you building things for other people? Why not build something for our family?" That was the seed that was planted. Like, why not build a business? To him, because to go from here to here was like a very big turn. I actually, at one point when I was working in New York, I was Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I quit my job and I said, "Yeah, we're moving to Florida to start a commercial cleaning company." And they didn't accept my resignation, which is true because nobody does that. It was like, "No, really, we're going to do this. It's going to be amazing." It
But
was
what I
obviously.
love about what you're saying, especially with "it didn't fill my cup anymore," it doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make
No.
it any less enjoyable or fruitful or a beautiful part of your journey. We can move on from things without not liking them, right? And I think that's so important for people to understand because sometimes we can, especially women, judge ourselves for leaving something that's perfectly good just because it doesn't match our current season of life's priorities or joy or just, what our goals change and
Well,
we want changes.
oh, absolutely. And it's okay. And I think the more you do it, right, the more confident you get with it, the more comfortable you are saying, "Okay, I'm ready for the next." Now, for me, that transition when I said, I don't want TV anymore. In fact, I was like, "If you let me take another gig, I'll hate you." He's like, "You can make your own choice." But I didn't know what that change looked like. And that was the first time that I had made that very, very bold decision that people from the outside were like, "Are you crazy? Why would you do that?" Inside, I knew. And so I dipped my toe in very slowly to, well, one, working with your husband, a lot of people like, "Are you crazy?" Two is it's our own company. People say, "Well, don't you want to diversify your income? Isn't that a little scary to you?" But no, I took the faith and the leap. And as I've evolved with the company, like, I love it now. I love what I do. And it's funny, I would have never dreamt this position, but my skill set was very transferable. And I think as women, we have to be really confident that when you make a switch, you're not starting over, you're adding on.
Well, you're
You're
yeah, you're evolving, you're expanding. It's you take
you're building
everything.
on it.
You've said that there's a pivotal moment speaking in front of industry leaders before you'd fully gone all in. Can you take us into that moment and what shifted for you internally?
Way back in the beginning, we were part of an industry organization, and yes, I can speak in front of anybody. I'm good. I can handle it. And Mark said, "Well, we have to do like a presentation about our company, property managers, etc. You take this one for the team." But I wasn't really working in it. But I got up and I spoke in front of industry leaders. I bombed. It was terrible. And it caused such a panic in me because I'd never really bombed that way before. But I think it propelled me to jump in and dive in deep, to really learn the nuances of the business, to really understand it. And that I guess people say you fake it till you make it. I did not fake it.
What should have bombed? I'm curious.
We I got up there to speak about our company, and it's our company, but then I just didn't. I maybe had imposter syndrome. I couldn't articulate what made AK Building Services special at that moment. What was our differentiating factor? How we deliver exceptional service, how we put our heart and soul into the company, and it's people first, and it's a human industry, and it's how
Yep.
using industrial grade products and the latest technology and industry events. Like, I just couldn't do it.
So one could say that moment, I mean, many people could take that moment and then say, I should never speak again. But what you just were able to share is everything that you couldn't share in that first presentation in front of industry leaders, it rolls off your tongue now.
Oh, yeah. No, I came back with
The
vengeance.
bomb.
Now I speak at conferences because I enjoy it so much.
Sometimes the bombs are necessary. Like, they are a necessary part of our growth, and what you demonstrate there is an immense amount of self-trust, not letting it stop you, and conviction, I would say. So,
Okay, so my favorite one of, like, my favorite quotes ever is, "The comeback is greater than the setback."
totally.
And, like, I'm not scared of failure. I'm not scared of falling on my face.
Why do you
You
think that
take
is?
it well, you take it because I've done it and I've survived. You realize, okay, this is maybe not a great example, but when you have your first child, your first baby, you're scared you're gonna break it. You know what I mean? But your second child, you're like, "Oh, yeah, it's no problem," because you know the kid's not gonna break, right? So, I guess in business, it's the same way. You have a failure, you bet you're gonna learn from it, right? And you learn from it and you're gonna be better. I'm not one to take failure lightly. So, you do it, you learn from it, and you just keep getting better. Then the failures don't matter as much. And when I say failure, I'm talking like there's wins and there's losses in business, right? Like,
Of course, yeah, every success is built on a pile of failures. No one ever gets it right at every stage ongoing, ever. It literally doesn't
no,
happen, and the best lessons come from the setbacks and the losses and the failures because we don't know clearly before a setback as we know after.
yeah, but it makes you better equipped for the next time.
100.
But I also truly believe, like, we're all human. Like, everybody has moments of setbacks, we'll call it. And it's how you deal with those setbacks. If we make a mistake or don't deliver on something or whatever happens, it's how you face it and you deal with it head on. Yeah, I own this. Here's how we're going to do better. And if you do that in every way of your life, people respect and you respect yourself for it. Are you going to wallow and cry? No, you got to just deal with it and move on.
So what did it look like practically and maybe emotionally to go all in? What fears or pressures or expectations did you have to navigate?
I think for me, a lot of people have grown up in this industry and we're talking like in commercial cleaning, like really they've been in it a very, very long time. And for me, it, it was a worry, would I be accepted and respected coming in it to laterally in some ways, not growing up in the business. So for me, it was like studying products and learning and listening as much as I could,
Yeah.
earn the trust and respect of everybody.
When you and your husband decided to commit to this growth, this growing this business, what role would you say self-trust played in how you approached risk and leadership together?
Great question. To grow your business, you have to invest in your business. And when you're investing in your business so you're poised for growth, it's a little scary because you're bringing on more overhead. You can't be foolish and have too much overhead, right? You have to sort of do it balanced. And so you're taking baby steps. So I guess what I'm trying to say with trust is you'd have to be really comfortable in ourselves when we want to grow the company to invest properly and to have the faith that we made a really good decision and that we're trusting ourselves, but also to know if it wasn't the right decision, to pivot really quickly and not get all stuck in our head about it. Like, okay, we tried it. This isn't going to work. Let's just change it and move on. Like, trust is really, really important and confidence there. Especially, we're leading a team of over 800 people, and everyone has a different agenda. You have associates, you have customers, and this and that. And as entrepreneurs, we listen to everybody. That's really important. We're people first organization. The risk is all ours. I should say. So, we have to really balance these things.
I think you articulated it beautifully. And it's such a good demonstration of how trust is what holds us through the discomfort of the uncertainty because we can't know how it's going to go exactly. And sometimes it works the way we wanted it to. Some, Sometimes it works the way we want it to, and that's not a good thing. Sometimes it doesn't work the way we want it to, and it is a good thing. And there's a myriad of ways that can happen, but also that trust of being able to recognize when things aren't going the way you want and make pivot based on data, not drama, not getting lost. I love how you said that, not getting lost in judging yourself. We talk about that a lot at the Self Trust Coach about using data, not drama, evaluating for that information that tells you the next best decision to make, the next best step to take. And that is how we move forward fueled by self-trust. And so I think it's a great example of that.
Oh, 1,000%. And it's really important to recognize that all decisions, we're in a very dynamic environment, right? So what would have been the decision at a certain moment 2 months ago, today that decision might not be accurate based on so many factors that go into decision making. So you have to really, when you say data, you have to look at where am I today? What's the, economic environment? What's the workforce environment? What's the political environment? What's the customer environment?
Mhm.
What time of year it is? And your decisions have to be dynamic and you have to trust that you're using your data today correctly to make the best decision that you can.
Yeah, so true.
Sometimes you stay up at night and you're like, man, I feel sick. But you ride through it. I have a mentor and he said, it's when you sometimes when you make change, it's the valley of despair, right? Because change can be very painful and disorienting and uncomfortable. But you have to know and trust that you're going to go through the valley of despair and it will come out and it will be sunshine. It will be okay.
Yeah. Everything we want, I have a mentor that says everything we want is on the other side of discomfort. And I couldn't agree more because everything that's still comfortable is just repeating what we already have. So if we want something new, we have to traverse discomfort. And our greatest gift we can give ourselves is to increase our discomfort tolerance so that we can stretch that and truly know that what is uncomfortable today becomes super comfortable tomorrow or next week. Everything that we are able to do now that would make other people so uncomfortable. It used to make us uncomfortable too. And now
So I am very comfortable being uncomfortable.
yeah,
Like I can just buckle up and ride through it.
same.
And I've got very thick skin and we go through and that's that. But
Yeah.
not for everybody. But I think once you understand how to do that, the more you practice, the easier it is.
It comes to what you said with even failure. Once you realize that you're going to move through it and you're going to be okay, you failed a few times, you're like, it's not that big of a deal. It's part of the journey. The same can be true with discomfort. It's all uncomfortable, is what I share all the time. Like, it's uncomfortable to grow and it's uncomfortable to stay the same. So pick the one that's going to grow you in the direction you want.
Yeah. And the leader trying to teach that to your team is is hard. I'll take a practical example. We, as a commercial cleaning company, you have accounts and clients for a very long time, but the reality of life is people lose clients sometimes, right? And it could be for a variety of reasons. And if you do lose one or when you do, they always hurt. You have to do an autopsy and you have to say what happened. And you have to do it with the team. And they are so uncomfortable, right? But you say it's okay because this won't happen again because you've learned. I'm trying to teach them
Not
all to be able to
personal
walk into
attack.
it face forward, face it and learn. And how are you going to be better and grow from it?
Yeah, we have to invite our teams, just like we do when we look at things at data, not drama, invite our team members to know this isn't a personal attack. It's an opportunity for us to grow. And we're all going to grow from it if we don't receive it as just that personal attack or front. Yeah. And
Yeah, but if you're not growing, what are you doing? You're stagnant. Like that doesn't do it for me.
for sure. Yeah. That's why we have to take the data from it, learn from it, put it into place, and move forward on it. And then we get more data from that if we can review that.
Exactly.
It,
Even when you say we touched on earlier, like how do you know when it's okay to move on? So people serve on charities, right? And on boards, or you have different relationships in your life, or you're involved in certain activities. And it's really okay to say, you know what, I've done this for a while. It's been wonderful. I loved it. I'm going to try something else now. I think self trust and self exploration that comes into our personal life as well. And it's really important to keep that journey going. Some nonprofits I've been with for a very long time and I love them and they were wonderful, but I felt like, okay, I've done this. Let me try something new now.
yeah.
You meet new people, you have new experiences, and you grow in different ways.
Yeah. Nothing about our lives is set it and forget it. Nothing. So, of course, we're going to make new decisions. It's our greatest power ever is our ability to choose and make decisions about everything. And when we're fueling those choices by self trust, we and based on guided by our values, what's important to us, which by the way, also can evolve and shift through our lives. So it's so important to keep checking in. For listeners standing on that edge of their own chapter, like their next chapter of change, maybe, what would you tell your before self about the power of self trust in business and life?
Don't get stuck in the spiral. And when your instinct tells you something, don't overthink it, like seize it and go with it. Don't ask too many people either, because everyone has an opinion. And if you keep asking and asking and asking, you're eventually going to just bias it to what you want to hear. So when you have that gut instinct, you need to listen to it and follow through on it and trust it.
Yes. It's going to lead you somewhere amazing. I think even if it doesn't feel amazing, because as we talked about, any new venture is going to be uncomfortable because it's new. Let it be uncomfortable, but trust your instincts and move forward. I love that message. It's so
Yeah,
good.
as long as you're doing things responsibly, right? Like I would never so so if you need your paycheck every week, but you really want to start your own business, I would not say go quit your job and just like be broke and start it. I would say trust your instinct, keep your day job and build a business plan on the side. So you're at that point where then you can like have a plan. I guess that's what I'm saying. Trust your instinct and have a plan. Don't just necessarily jump off the cliff without a parachute.
Yeah. I mean, you could. You're going to get information on the other side.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Hey, you totally could. I guess we did it. We survived and we're doing okay.
Right? A lot of people do. I mean, I definitely appreciate the idea of being responsible, but I think people can get hung up and let the premise of responsibility hold them back from going after something they want.
Yeah.
But I think if we make decisions fueled by self trust, we're listening to our instincts and we're making sure that they are guided by our values. So if your value is not to be in debt, then don't make that decision to go into business, put you into debt. Like, first, make a plan that honors your values and moves forward. If you have the funds to support that, or it's not that important to you, like you are happy to incur some debt for your dreams, then you can do that too. But if we're tying it into our values, we really can't go wrong, right? We're always going to,
You know, you're totally right. And you said it before and I agreed the data, right? So if you have data and values, you really can't go wrong because you're using that to qualify your decision. So you're right. It's like a triangle,
It really
right?
is. I love
It
that.
is. Yeah. So I would go back and tell my old self before I my transition, I felt like it took a while because there was self-doubt and I was scared and my identity was very wrapped up in being a TV producer. That's like who I was. I was like, Terry Bradshaw in Sex in the City. I love my life and my job and all this. So who was I? It took evolving as a human to do it. So yeah, I would go back to my old self and say, don't stress about it so much. Like, you got this. You got it.
That. But also, I will tell you, and this is typical, like, we can think that self-doubt means a lack of self-trust or that a fear means a lack of self-trust, and it doesn't. I would tell you that while you had fear and doubt, you had an enormous amount of self-trust to be able to move through that and still make this decision and now be able to live this life and work this business with your husband in Florida. So you are a great example of self trust, even with moments of fear and doubt. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. This is wonderful. And I love what you do. It's very exciting. And I think it's so empowering to everyone, especially women, because women don't have enough self trust in every aspect of their life. And when you have self trust, everything is better, everything is easier.
It's
That inner voice that you have needs to be nurtured and given some attention.
yes, I have a whole book about it. Go read Master Your Inner Dialogue. So yes, how can people learn more about you and what you do?
You can learn more about me, my LinkedIn, Shari Cedar. I love to connect with people, love to have a conversation. Visit our website, akbuildingservices.com. We're a commercial cleaning company with a focus on healthy and shiny spaces.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your story with us, Sherry.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you again for joining us for this episode of the Self Trust Solution Podcast. If something resonated with you, hope that you will leave a review and share it with someone else who will benefit from hearing all about Sherry's story. And if you have a self trust story you'd like to share, I'd love to hear it. And if you want to create one, I'd love to help you claim it. You'll find all the links to how you can do that in the show notes, along with Sherry's information for how to connect with her. Stay tuned. Don't forget to follow and subscribe so that you don't miss the next amazing self trust story from someone who might just be experiencing the same thing you are. See you next time.